tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do for work?
I teach Mandarin at CMU, and I also am the interpreter of the health department over here. And what else? I also interpret for lawyers in town.
So as far as teaching Mandarin and interpreting, what's the big difference? What are some of those challenges that you have?
It's very different.
Okay.
Like teaching Mandarin is you have to know what you're doing, and you have to make sure your students understand what you're saying. Make sure they actually learn what they're supposed to learn. And for interpreter, communication is very important. You have to make sure they understand the information you're giving out.
Can you give us an example of a miscommunication experience in your time spent interpreting?
Actually, when I am doing the interpretation work with the health department, I do run into some interesting situations, especially when I come to some technical terms. At the very beginning, I have no idea what is 马柜. Literally means like a horse closet. And it doesn't make any sense for me in English or in Chinese either. So that's why I have to ask the owner, what do you mean by horse closet? So he would explain, this is a horse closet. Oh, and it actually means mid table. So, so you have to know what they are talking about. You have to get into this business to know what is actually going on. You cannot just assume what it means.
When were you first contacted about doing interpretation for restaurant inspections, and what were your first thoughts?
I like it because I always heard a lot of good things about Chinese restaurants, how American people love Chinese food. I just love it.
What were some fears you had, or what made you nervous before you started here and doing interpreting for us?
The things that I was really nervous about was like the technical terms, because I never worked with the health department before at that time, and I don't know what kind of technical terms I'm going to run into. Finally, I did run into some very interesting ones, like a horse closet again. So those are very interesting ones.
How did you work around that? Was it conversations with your team, or was it conversations with the restaurant you were working with?
I think both, because interpreter is someone that help the other side that doesn't speak the other language to understand each other. So sometimes when I don't understand some technical terms or not familiar with it, I have to make sure I understand, make sure that we're on the same page, and then so I can make sure the restaurant owners or whoever is in charge of the kitchen understand what we're talking about. So it's all about communication. So I want to make sure everything is right.
What excited you about the opportunity to work here and interpret?
If I could be there, I could help them understand better the situation, and I could explain that we are actually here to help them to do better. We are not picking on them, so they can actually do better.
What was the feeling you got from owners and operators when you first started going to the inspections?
For the very first time, I got the impression that they were actually really nervous. They are actually scared to see an inspector in the restaurant. I'm not sure they are not confident in what they're doing or something else, but after we were there for several times, we explained what's going on, and we are just helping them to do better, to do things in the right way. So I could actually feel that they are feeling more confident. Sometimes I even got the feeling that the owners or people in the back that is in charge, they are happy that we're here because we are here to help them.
What are some dynamics other food inspectors should be aware of within Chinese culture?
I do notice that a lot of Chinese restaurants are owned by family over here. So, but the problem is sometimes it's the son of the family or maybe the daughter of the family that's in charge of the back. But the dad doesn't speak English, and the son or the daughter they do. So that's why they're in charge. But when we are going to the back to talk to them, talk to the people that is in charge, that is the son or daughter, and if we totally ignore that the father is actually the person in charge in general, so that could cause some problems. So that's why my suggestion is it is important to make sure the person that is in charge understand what's going on. But when it comes to Chinese culture, you probably need to go through by the dad, make sure he's on the same page too.
These restaurants want so badly to be doing things right, but they just don't have the education piece,
Yeah.
and we haven't been able to provide that before you came on board and helped us.
I do think that they do want to get better, so that's why they always want to know, am I doing the right thing? So if you tell me what I'm doing wrong, I'll make sure I'm doing it right next time.